Grant Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Great to have you with us. Thanks for being here. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. The New Hampshire primary underway. They start really early. As soon as midnight rolls around.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, somebody casts the first vote. First vote went to Mike Bloomberg.
Oh.
Somebody who's not even on the ballot. Not on the ballot.
Is that up there in Dixville Notch or whatever it is?
Yeah, whatever. Hogs Hollow or...
Dixville Notch. There it is. Yeah.
Is it Dixville Notch?
Yeah, let's see. And you said Mike Bloomberg...
got the first vote.
Good for him.
Mm-hmm. And I think Amy Klobuchar won the first little hamlet there that they do. There's always one that they count the people, and I think Amy Klobuchar was the winner. So,
well, she's my number 3 again. I'm going with the same order I went with in Iowa.
Yeah,
I went Bernie
Buttigieg,
and Klobuchar. What are your 3?
Klobuchar, Warren, Biden. I think is what's going to happen.
Say that again.
Bernie, Buttigieg, Klobuchar.
Oh, okay, cool.
Warren, Biden.
We have the exact same top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So it would be fun, I think, now if Joe finishes 5th. That's gonna piss him off. Oh my gosh, he doesn't know how to deal with this at all.
No.
Tons of people in New Hampshire still haven't made up their minds, and why? Because the Democrats have nobody who can win.
Yeah, there we are.
They don't. Think of what Donald Trump will do to the admitted socialist if he's the nominee, Bernie Sanders. He'll compare this economy to what's happening in Cuba and Venezuela as an example of, here's my economy, here's what Bernie's will do for you. He'll bust out Bernie quotes about the Soviet Union back in the day, pictures of his honeymoon in Moscow.
Oh, yes.
His spending plans, his creepy fantasies from the 1970s. We'll get all of that stuff. He won't have a chance. Elizabeth Warren, I mean, seriously, in addition to the Pocahontas stuff, you got more socialism to take apart. Plus, she's just not a natural, likable candidate. I don't think even the Democrats like her. Then you got Buttigieg. Trump would just tear him apart on lack of experience. What he did as mayor of South Bend, Biden has that ad out now that just excoriated Mayor Pete. He could just use that, all of those statistics about how he did the decorative lighting while Biden was working on health care. Buttigieg is working on decorative lighting on the streets and bridges in South Bend. It's a great ad.
I got to see this.
I mean, Amy Klobuchar, nobody knows her. There's nothing electric about her. Michael Bloomberg, the guy wants to increase taxes on the poor to control their eating habits. And he wants to take your guns. And Biden has just plain lost it. I mean, he might actually be the easiest to defeat if he were to win this nomination. I mean, they just don't have anyone. They don't have anybody who is going to win this, who could beat Donald Trump. I just don't see it happening. Biden had some interesting comments about gun control. Here's what he had to say.
No, and by the way, those who say the tree of liberty is watered with the blood of patriots, a great line.
Great line.
Well, guess what?
What?
The fact is, if you're going to take on the government, you need an F-15 with Hellfire missiles.
The flact is?
The flact, yeah.
First of all, yeah, it is a great line. I'm sure Thomas Jefferson is thrilled that you approve, Joe. And the flact is, if you're going to take on the government, you need an F-15 with Hellfire missiles. There's no way an AK-47 is going to take care of you. I don't know about an AK-47, but I will tell you this. An AR-15 is sure going to help. It's certainly going to be a lot better than being completely unarmed, where you've got no chance whatsoever. If 100 million citizens are armed, and they are, at least that many, it's probably more than that. I don't care what you say. That's a pretty good deterrent for the government not to try totalitarianism. Makes it incredibly difficult for an occupying force, if that's what they are. If an occupying force like our government decides to get nasty and start sending troops through the streets, tanks through the streets, if they're fighting an armed populace, You don't need F-15s. You just need to harass them nonstop, 24 hours a day. Ask the Afghans how effective that was against the army that they faced. Then he claims we're not guaranteed. Listen to this. We're not guaranteed any weapon.
There's no way an AK-47 is going to take care of you if you're going to take on. You're worried about the government coming down, knocking down your door.
It's asinine.
And so it's bizarre. We never said you could own any weapon at all from the beginning. You can't own a machine gun. You can't own a bazooka. You can't own an M1 tank. No matter how much money you have, you can limit the kind of weapons that are able to be owned. And so I think, and by the way,
really
the work I've done on this, including in our administration, I now have over 58% of the NRA members acknowledging you can't own an assault weapon.
Oh, that's a lie.
There's no need for it. You can't have a magazine.
Do you believe that? There's no way 58% of NRA members are okay with not owning an assault weapon.
Well, can we define an assault weapon first?
Well, an AR-15 is an assault weapon, supposedly.
Okay.
There's no way. I don't believe that. That's a lie. That's a stinking lie. He's a lying, dog-faced pony soldier.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he is. He claims we're not guaranteed any weapon? Let me, just refresh your memory on something called the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Keep and bear arms. That means, yes, we can own weapons. What asinine nonsense. Yeah, he's losing it. He's losing. Even Bernie is better on guns than Joe Biden is. So I guess he was asked about the investigation into Hunter, and Joe went after Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah.
Here's that exchange.
Mr. Vice President, the president's also been going after your son. And Lindsey Graham told CBS News
his only surviving
the
son.
Justice Department is vetting information from Rudy Giuliani about your son's work in Ukraine. Are you concerned a federal investigation may be launched?
Rudy Giuliani.
Are you concerned a federal investigation may be launched?
Yeah, Rudy Giuliani, douche.
Are you concerned a federal investigation?
Pause it for a second. Rudy Giuliani. Just saying his name over and over and over doesn't mean anything. Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani. I mean, he just keeps repeating the same lie that everybody's looked into this and nobody's found anything on it. Okay, let's see the rest of this.
Are you concerned a federal investigation?
I expect Trump to do the same exact thing he's been doing. Why has he been attacking me from the beginning? Why did he risk, and he should have been impeached, why did he risk getting convicted by going to a foreign leader to say, you don't have to give me anything on Biden, there's nothing to get, just tell me that you're going to investigate him so I can hurt him. Have you ever seen
not what he said.
A sitting president as concerned about a single nominee and trying to stop a nominee?
Do you think your son is
not what he said.
Mr. Vice President, do you think your son is fair game here?
What do you?
You're surviving.
son or my
say
son?
no.
Your son, Hunter.
I don't think our sons are fair game at
Dumbass
all.
question.
No one has said he's done anything wrong except the thug Rudy Giuliani.
No.
Come on.
Come
Rudy
on.
Giuliani? A character witness?
Mr. Vice President, speaking to voters.
Rudy Giuliani? What does that mean?
Good defense there, Joe.
Yeah, that's powerful. And he thinks it is. Here's two supposed journalists sitting there listening to him say things that were not said by the president, and they just sit there and take it. They don't even challenge him on it. He didn't say anything like that. I know Joe Biden didn't do anything wrong, but just say that you're going to investigate. That's not what he said. Oh, man, I can't take it. The lying sacks of garbage that are running for office in this country. It's criminal. It's criminal. 888-900-3393. Also, we got Pathead Cody Dunn that sent us this video of some young people singing at an old folks home. This is really great. Watch this. Come in to entertain the old people.
All right.
Yeah.
there is the old people. This is bizarre.
Biden's back, all right.
Ugh.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness!
awful.
How did they pin
so
those
bad.
lyrics on the back of an envelope 5 minutes before you arrived?
Joe Biden.
Biden's back, all right.
Joe Biden. Oh man,
That's something else there. Yeah, good job on that,
great.
kids, and congratulations on being the only all of the young people in New Hampshire that support Joe Biden were in that room. So that was cool how they did that. In fact,
that was great.
Oddly enough, when they stopped rolling just after that, that's when the awkward back massages, the shoulder rubs
began.
and the creepy hair sniffing.
Okay,
That's when it started.
and how many sat on his lap?
I don't know.
Just about all of them.
yeah,
Probably all of them.
Those were teenagers, maybe young 20s. They're probably a little too old for Joe Biden. So
He's a sad case.
ugh.
And just the lies, that's really disturbing to me. Also, a Democrat National Committee Chairman, Tom Perez, said that he believes the DNC should eliminate caucuses and move to just primaries after last week's fiasco in Iowa. I do think it needs to be state election officials running elections, he said. Perez expressed his discontent with the botched Iowa caucus, as you can imagine, and noted that he has supported primaries, which are administered by state election officials, over caucuses, which are run by state parties, since 2016. There were 14 states years ago that held caucuses. 7 of them are now primary states. Iowa chose to keep their caucus status. And I think what we learned from all the mistakes that were made, it's undeniably unacceptable. In addition to eliminating the caucus system, he said Democrats should also discuss the order in which states vote in the primary. Is Iowa about to lose their first-in-the-nation caucus status? Well, that's the conversation that will absolutely happen after this election cycle, he said. I would bet that they do. Maybe you want to put in, a bigger state at the start.
Well, why? The caucus system is stupid anyway. It's just dumb. Let's all get in a room together and bully each other until we have a candidate.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah,
Just go out and vote. Place your vote for who you want.
and that's part of America
Done.
is your secret vote.
Yeah, and that's how it's going to work in the general election anyway. So why not just do what is going to happen in the actual election? Doesn't make any sense to me. And, I don't know. This whole system with the Democrats, it just doesn't matter because they're all so bad.
I was going to say, it really doesn't matter if they do the caucus,
So
they do
bad.
the secret ballot and at the box. It doesn't matter. You're going to get a terrible candidate either way, Democrats.
Really, it doesn't matter what you do.
Just throw a dart at a board.
Yeah, might as well.
Wait, is that too violent for you? Is that too much violent rhetoric there? How about you just draw a name out of a hat? And whoever you get is who's going to get their butts kicked in November. Cool? All right.
Apparently, Buttigieg has another little issue. He spoke at a Tea Party event?
Yeah, back in the day.
Wow.
How dare the two parties come together?
Now you're in trouble.
Yep, he is.
We didn't care about any of the other stuff.
Right.
But the Tea Party, oh my. I do.
For having me here. I have to admit, as a Democrat, that many of my friends and supporters looked at me as if I was absolutely nuts when I suggested that I would be coming tonight to speak with a group that's often identified with the Tea Party. There are some, especially in my party, who think that the Tea Party is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Republican Party. But there are many others who believe that the Tea Party is motivated by real concerns about the direction of our government and the responsiveness of our government to citizens. And above all, a frustration with business as usual. That is what motivated me to run. And so while we may come from often very different perspectives, I believe we might find...
Yeah.
Wow, so
Find common ground there.
he was worried about Obama like we were?
I don't know that he was worried about Obama. I don't know that he ever said that. But he was...
Apparently not a fan. It was against Obama, really, that the Tea Party rose because we were concerned about his socialism.
Okay. But I think that Mayor Pete, trying to get his political career off the ground...
Yeah.
probably saw an
Reaching out to
opportunity
both sides.
look. I can. That way he could go to speeches and say, look, I've spoken at Tea Party events.
I've reached across the aisle.
Yeah, we have common ground. We're concerned about the direction of our government. I don't know. Bottom line is now people on the left are saying this is disqualifying because racists run the Tea Party and he spoke there.
It was the great Jesse Jackson who once said, black, white, red or brown, all here find common ground.
Workers, white, black, and brown, here find
That's what was
common
workers.
ground.
Okay, yeah, it's workers. Didn't you say that on my show back
in 2001? Yes, he did. Workers, white, black, and brown, here find common ground.
Now, that's an amazing thing. When you think back about almost 20 years ago, 19 years ago, Jesse Jackson came on my show. I mean, I can't even imagine. I can't imagine it now. We've gotten so far apart now with this chasm between the right and the left. There's too big a chasm. I shouted out across that chasm, I'm Israel. That's what I meant.
Yeah, there it is.
So that's what I said. And I meant it. I mean, can you imagine, for instance, Jesse Jackson or Quanell X or, any of those people? Coming on this show?
Quanell X?
No way.
Maybe
X. Quanell White.
Yeah,
Quanell
there is a great video. I should post this later today. Remember when we had all those police shootings a few years ago and stuff?
Yeah.
He actually went to a local Houston news station, and they went with him to like some police training to show what police officers go through.
Oh, I remember
and
that.
how they have to make these split-second decisions.
I think that was before the 5 cops were shot here, right, in Dallas?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And he said, boy, that's eye-opening. Wow. I stand corrected. It's powerful.
Yeah, because it opened his eyes on what kind of decision you have to make and how fast you have to make it. And you know that your life is on the line.
Yeah, I gotta find that.
Makes it completely different. It's a totally different situation then. 888-900-3393. Oh, we still have so much.
Oh, yeah, we do.
So much to get to. Let me take 60 seconds, though, and tell you about Books, because Friday is Valentine's Day. Friday! But the Books Company has you covered. That's Books, B-O-U-Q-S, as in bouquets of flowers. They offer farm fresh, sustainably sourced flowers for next or even same-day delivery. And they last a long time. The ones I just got my wife lasted for 12 days.
Nice.
Order today. Get 25% off your entire purchase. Go to Books.com/Pat. That's BOUQS.com/Pat for 25% off.
25% off?
Yeah, on Valentine's Day week.
Wow.
That's incredible.
That is something else.
Use the offer code PAT, and that's what you'll get. This Valentine's Day, don't mess this up. Send her flowers. Your forever love, your first love, any of your loved ones. Go to Books.com, BOUQS.com/Pat. Go there today and get 25% off when you use the offer code PAT.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
The young woman, I think she's 21 years old, that Joe Biden called the lying dog-faced pony soldier, spoke out a little bit. She was not pleased.
Oh, by the way, he wasn't wrong. We do have photographic evidence of a dog-faced pony soldier. If you wanted to prove.
Oh, let's see it.
Yeah, we got this sent.
Okay.
Yeah, look at that right there.
Yeah. Stewart found this. Pat had. Is it Callan Stewart?
Mm-hmm. Colin Stewart. Yeah.
Colin Stewart.
So look at that. Challen Stewart. Boy, we'll get this right, Challen.
Well,
anyway, look at that.
Now,
he
is it
found
the CH or is it the K sound?
I don't know. I'm reading on the
we
screen
don't know.
there.
Or is it the
my life.
sound? Yeah. Maybe it's Jewish. We don't know.
So there he is, the lying dog-faced
pony
soldier. I don't know that he lies. We don't have proof of that, but everything else fits.
Although there's no pony in the shot.
Okay, that hurt.
Okay, but still, there's a lying dog-faced.
So what's
soldier.
this lady saying now? The chick that he called that name, that horrible
saying
name.
Good things. She said, in her question, she said, so I thought this was really nicely phrased. You've been the vice president. You weren't burdened down by the impeachment trials. So how do you explain your performance in Iowa? You know, she's saying you had the whole state to yourself, essentially. So why should voters believe that you can win the national election? So that pissed him off, obviously, and he called her the lying dog-faced pony soldier when she said she'd been to a caucus. Now she says, I read an article that he said Iowa was a punch to the gut, and I'm not one to just push on wounds. I'm not trying to humiliate anyone. He wasn't just sitting in the Senate trials for impeachment, so he had Iowa to himself, and then you've been a politician for like decades. How are you not way above all the other candidates? According to the Post, she also released a statement that said she had asked Biden a fair question, and it was totally irrelevant whether I've been to a caucus or not, which is exactly right. Joe Biden has been performing incredibly poorly in this race, she said. His inability to answer a simple question from a nobody college student like me only exacerbates that reality. Pretty smart girl.
Yep.
So good for her for standing up for herself because, he's not getting the kind of... Why is he getting a total pass on calling a woman a lying dog-faced pony soldier?
It's just Joe being Joe, man.
Yeah, you can't... I'm sorry, that doesn't wash. You can't get away with that, although he has. He has. He can. He did. So
Ta-da.
I guess you can get away with that.
Yeah, and it earned him, what, 4th, 5th? What place was he in again?
4th. Yeah.
I'm thinking ahead to New Hampshire. 5th.
Right. Yes. So by what? Sunday, we should know the results in New Hampshire?
Yes.
From today?
If New Hampshire, I did look up the math scores, compared New Hampshire to Iowa. New Hampshire math scores
Does
are
better?
far and away better than Iowa math scores. So there's hope
Really?
that we'll get results before Friday.
Okay, good.
So, yeah.
I hope
but
so.
boy, if Joe Biden, so you and I, okay, we agree he's not going to finish higher than 4th in New Hampshire,
You're
correct?
Right. Yes.
And what's...
Yeah, he might beat Warren.
So what's after that? Nevada, right? Okay.
Nevada, yeah.
Okay, so on the 22nd. So he's got 11 days. How's he going to do out there? Do we know what the polling is out there? Because South Carolina, he's going to be done before the end of the month. Seriously.
Yeah, he's going to lose in Nevada, too. I think Bernie's on his way to victory there in Nevada. So that'd be 3, a clean sweep. And there he is making out with his granddaughter.
Joe being Joe. Nice job, Rob.
It's just Joe being Joe.
Let's see here. So he's leading in...
Is he?
Yeah, the Copper State. I'm not going to...
He's leading in Nevada.
With the pronunciation. Yeah, he's at 21%. 21, yeah.
Okay.
And then second is Bernie at 17.5.
Well, if he wins Nevada, that wouldn't be bad. He's still in okay shape because then he's got South Carolina coming up, and that'll be the first test of a significant amount of minority vote, and he'll probably win that decisively because Buttigieg is not winning the black vote.
Save your tweets, by the way. I meant to say Silver State, not the Copper State. So,
yeah,
thank you.
Copper State is somebody else.
Arizona, yeah. So just wanted to make sure. Yeah. I'm just going to refer to it between now and February 22nd.
The
so
state
you
with
and
Las Vegas in it. Why don't you call it that?
So you and I don't argue.
State with Las Vegas.
I'm just going to
we
keep
don't have to
calling
argue.
it the
You know
Silver
it's Nevada.
State. Yeah.
I've proven that over and over again. It's Nevada.
I like Nevada, and my kids like it too. I've trained them.
It's Nevada.
Well. It's
and
you know
it's
what it is?
Colorado.
You know what it
and
is?
It's Oregon.
It's the Silver State. Thank you very much.
Silver State. Okay. All right.
And the Rocky Mountain State.
No, that's not the Rocky Mountain State.
No, I'm talking about Colorado.
Oh, okay. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Elizabeth Warren, she's in trouble too. She and Joe have really kind of gone away.
I'm telling you, man,
thing.
if it were the same primary schedule as it was in years past, she would have peaked at the right time.
Yeah.
As it stands, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Back to the tribe.
So she was at a restaurant walking around trying to get everybody excited about her candidacy.
Look at this, man. Watch the guy in the orange. I mean, watch everybody.
He turns away from her.
Nobody wants her there. Look at the guy on the right looking down. The guy in the orange just, boy.
The people that walk by her, they don't want to look at her.
Boy, look at our baby. I just can't stop looking at my baby. I mean, nobody wants her at that table. Could you move along?
Look at that. None of them will establish eye contact with her.
I love the orange guy.
Except the guy, though, I guess her. Is that a... Yeah, that's a woman, right?
Do we know this?
I think so.
Oh,
I
crap.
don't know how she identifies.
I think she got... Oh, you're talking about the lady next to the baby?
Yeah.
Okay, I got you now. Yeah, you know what happened there? The reason she is talking with Elizabeth Warren is because she was in that unfortunate position where you locked out, you made eye contact, and like, oh crap, I gotta say something.
Look at everybody else. Yeah. They don't turn, they don't look. There's no interest whatsoever.
I mean, it's like
in the booth behind them. Nobody wants to talk to her.
That's what gives Joe Biden hope for 4th place, because she might actually be in 5th place after this kind of anecdotal evidence.
See, I would not. I mean, that would be so embarrassing. I would not want to go around to tables where people don't want anything to do with me.
Do not want you there.
I would not be a good politician because I just leave.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, nobody wants me here, so let's go. All right, see ya.
And see, now, that's like Joe Biden in Iowa. Remember that? The guy was watching the Alabama-Auburn game?
Yeah.
And he's just like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he wasn't even looking at him. And Joe Biden's like, you know who I am, right? Yeah, I know you're going to finish in 4th place. So... if restaurant visits from politicians are any indication, Liz will be lucky to finish in 4th place.
Both Liz and Joe have been proven to not pass the restaurant test.
The restaurant test. I like that. The restaurant litmus test.
If they're more interested in their food than they are in you, then that's probably a sign that, sorry, you're not going to win.
That's kind of what we do, like in the mornings before Jeffy's going to join us during the day, He'll come in the room here.
We'll be eating.
And
we won't even look up.
We'll be show prepping and eating and stuff. And he'll come in, hey, babies. That's what he says when he comes into the room. He goes, hey, babies. And you and I will just be like.
He does. Maybe he'll just think we didn't hear him and he'll leave.
Or just sit down and shut up. Anyway, that's exactly what it's like when Jeffy enters the studio. Just like Liz Warren in the old country buffet or wherever she was up there.
Yep. Is that a big famous place?
That's a Nebraska place. I don't know what the equivalent is in New Hampshire. I don't know the name of that restaurant.
I'm sure they have one, though. All right. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Let's see. Do we have time to get into this pro-life stuff? Probably not yet.
Oh, there's a series of clips there.
Yeah, because Bernie Sanders spoke about it. We have a teenager who's really excited about it. We got Andrew Yang talking about it. So we'll get to all of that coming up in a few minutes. First, let me play what Chris Matthews has to say about the dangers of socialism.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gotten into Chris Matthews
we missed
this
this
week.
I didn't catch this from Friday night after the debate.
Check this out.
I have my own views of the word socialist, and I'll be glad to share them with you in private. And they go back to the early 1950s. I have an attitude about them. I remember the Cold War. I have an attitude towards Castro. I believe if Castro and the Reds had won the Cold War, there would have been executions in Central Park, and I might have been one of the ones getting executed. And certain other people would be there cheering, okay? So I have a problem with people who took the other side. I don't know who Bernie supports over these years. I don't know what he means by social. 1 week it's Denmark. We're going to be like Denmark. Okay, that's harmless. That's basically a capitalist country with a lot of good social welfare programs. Denmark is harmless.
It's pretty clearly in the Denmark category, yeah.
Are you sure? How do you know? Did he tell you that?
Well, I mean, that's what he says, and that's what his agenda calls for, right?
Yeah.
He's not calling for any...
Let's see. Let's figure that one out.
Well, we haven't seen a campaign yet where video of him praising the other version, which is Castro, has been used.
Well, but
it will be used.
That's a question
of
how
that plays.
Of how what the effect that has.
Well, what does he think of Castro? That's a great question. What did you think of Fidel Ismo? We all thought he was great when he first. I thought he was cheering like mad for him when he first went in, and then he became a communist and started.
Got it. What do you think of Nikita Khrushchev? Ask him that, because he was a pretty big fan of the Soviet Union. I'll tell you. I mean, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. And by the way. You don't get to choose. Once socialism happens, it starts spinning out of control, and that's why you wind up with a Castro. All right, got some tweets here. Michael NP1701 tweets, Joe lashed out at her, that's 21-year-old girl, because he couldn't sniff her to see if she was a friend or not. All right. Scotty Sweatman, Democrats are just having a little trouble applying that Common Core math to the simple counting of votes. I'll get the hang of it eventually. I'm sure they will. From Turtle Smirking Rube, fake news. That's the dog-faced soldier we showed.
Yeah.
Fake news. That's a sitting dog-faced pony-less soldier. There, yeah, right. He's right.
Okay.
Or she, however they identify. I don't know.
It's a she. Yeah.
Turtle Smirking Rube.
Yeah.
Is a she?
Yeah.
Do you know if she identifies as a she?
I mean, I'm gonna.
What are her pronouns? You don't know. So why don't you shut up?
I mean, you're
right. Am I right?
You got me.
Yeah, I did.
You got me.
I did. I nailed you.
Dead to rights.
That's right. Alan Cruikshank, if it were possible, would not the Democrats eliminate elections? Yeah, they probably would. They're certainly trying to eliminate babies. I know that. And we're gonna have to, if we want equality, we're gonna have to kill some of day babies. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
We're getting about to that level now on abortion. Here's a pregnant teenager though who's really excited about her big birth coming up, and she shows it.
Finding out my baby's gender today.
Kind of nervous.
There you go. In the hospital, they're getting the gown on.
Big smiles.
Smiling, yeah.
What, 15, 16 maybe? It's
Here we go. Big reveal time.
Aborted. Oh, it's aborted.
And they're just so happy, her and her friends.
So you think she's going to find out the sex of her baby, and she's happy that nope, she's happy that she just killed her baby. So we're thrilled. It's killed baby day.
Celebration.
Okay. All right. Wow, that is sick and
that
pathetic.
Was grotesque.
Sick. Andrew Yang dared to ask people why we would celebrate. He says he's pro-choice. He's for the woman's right to choose. But why would you celebrate it? And that brought down the hounds of hell on him. Here's what he said.
I think we have to get back to the point where no one is suggesting that we be celebrating an abortion at any point in the pregnancy.
Right.
That there was a time in Democratic circles where we used to talk about it being something that, you don't like to see, but that should be within the freedoms of the woman and the mother to decide.
Those days are gone.
And so, to me, I think there is a really important tone to set on this, where you don't just say, we're absolutist about it, though I have to say I am relatively absolutist on this. I think that it should be completely up to the woman and her doctor, and the state should not be intervening all the way through pregnancy. But it's a tragedy to me if someone decides
pause it
that
for a second. The state should intervene in everything else, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I want the state involved in every other aspect in my life, including what I should be eating, but not whether or not a human life should be allowed to continue.
I mean, when you say it like that.
That's unreal. That's unreal. These people are buffoons. I mean, even this explanation is asinine, and yet he got in trouble for it. All right, let him finish here. Jeez.
But it's a tragedy to me if someone decides that they don't want to have a child and they're on the fence and that maybe at some point later. I mean, it's a very, very difficult personal decision, and it should be something that we're very, very sensitive to.
Yeah.
I think that celebrating children, family, these are universal human values. And if we manage to lead on that and then say, but we also stand for women's reproductive rights, I believe we can bring Americans closer together on a really, really important personal issue.
Well, he's trying to be so careful. Clearly, he does not like abortion.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly.
He's in the wrong party then. I got news for you there, Andrew.
Yes. Yeah. He's kind of, I guess, old. Now, I don't know if he's old school Democrat on this, or if he's actually pro-life but knows he can't be openly pro-life in the Democrat Party because there's no place for you. There's just I'm sorry, you don't fit anymore.
What do you mean?
There's just no place. And
what?
Where did I hear that? That's right, from Bernie Sanders at the same event.
Then is there such a thing as a pro-life Democrat in your vision of the party?
Get this.
I think being pro-choice is an absolutely essential part of being a Democrat. If you're asking me, and I think I may be wrong on this, I think
you're wrong.
In the Senate, probably 95% of the Democrats are pro-choice.
No,
you have a
probably
few
right about
who are
that.
not. in the House, maybe even a higher percentage. So that's kind of what my view is. I think by this time in history, I think when we talk about what a Democrat is, I think being pro-choice is essentially an essential part of that.
Wow, that's nuts.
Wow.
That is, in other words, there's no place for pro-lifers in the
Correct.
Democrat Party. The tent is big enough for baby killers, gay marriage, gender fluidity, climate change hysteria, record deficits, socialized medicine, socialists, Marxists, but not anybody who believes in life for babies in the womb.
Wow, I can't believe you even said that phrase, sir.
Yeah, I know.
That's offensive.
Well, there's no place for you. I just wanted to make sure you knew that. No place.
I know a generation ago.
Wow.
I remember the left used to scream when a Republican was getting ready to nominate a Supreme Court justice. And we're like, no litmus test, no litmus test on pro-life.
Right. And now they're doing the opposite.
Now it's, you're not welcome if you... think of that. Think of that.
Part of being
this
Democrat.
Is not misstating what Bernie Sanders said. If you support babies living, there is no place for you in the Democratic Party.
Yeah. Wow, that's really bad.
Congratulations, Democrats.
The party of death.
There are no good choices for you this year.
Absolutely the party of death. That's really something else. Phew. Well, we got a Rhode Island priest who's at least trying to do something, that sort of falls in line with his belief structure. He's refusing to serve communion to state lawmakers who supported the pro-abortion bill. Good for him. In 2019, Democrat Governor Gina Raimondo signed a bill preserving federal abortion protections into state law. According to U.S. News and World Report, the law says that Rhode Island will not restrict a woman's right to abortion prior to fetal viability or afterward if an abortion is necessary for the health or life of the mother. That's almost never the case. It's so unbelievably rare now as to almost never happen where a woman's life is in danger for giving birth. I mean, this isn't 1846 anymore. Very few women die in childbirth now. I don't know if you're aware of that. But you know what they do is they make mental health part of it. So if this is going to bother her.
Oh, is it going to bother her?
Yeah, she's going to be bothered. She's going to be mentally bothered by this. So we better abort the baby.
You know when she's going to be bothered is after the abortion.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's when she's going to be mentally bothered.
It's just such an awful situation. According to the Providence Journal, the Reverend Richard Bucci, 72, passed out flyers at his Sacred Heart Church publicly highlighting all the state lawmakers who voted on a pro-abortion bill. He also said that these lawmakers will not be able to serve as marriage witnesses, godparents, or lectors at church-sponsored events. Good. There should be consequences. If the church doctrine is such that abortion is wrong, well, then I'm sorry. You're going to have to be, there's going to be consequences if you go the other way, at least religiously. Obviously not from the law because it's perfectly lawful.
I mean, this is the same point you were making about abortion. It's like if you have a different view, you're not welcome in this party.
Right.
Well, the individuality is so emphasized by the left. Be who you want to be. Be yourself. Believe what you want to believe. Oh, whoa. You believe in like God and Jesus and all those tenets and stuff? Whoa. Okay. Now you've
gone too far.
A step too far.
Yeah, that's too much.
You can't have your faith. I mean, seriously. So,
and then you got the Nancy Pelosi's of the world who are so radical on abortion and yet claim to be wonderful Catholics who love their faith. Oh, okay. Well, I guess you pick and choose what part of your faith you love, but that's between you and God. Who am I to judge? I'm just saying you're going to burn in the fires of hell. That's all I know. Okay.
I mean, other than that,
I'm not your judge.
We're good.
The point of the Second Amendment, of course, is to fight governmental tyranny. And that's basically what's being proposed right now in Virginia. Governmental tyranny. In addition to draconian laws, including some which essentially strip you of your due process. There's a proposal which would also allow localities to ban outdoor gun ranges just by changing zoning laws. So not only are they trying to take away your Second Amendment rights, they're trying to prevent you from safely practicing. That's why a product like iTarget Pro is so important. They use their proprietary app and a laser bullet, and it allows you to safely practice training with your actual firearm in the convenience and privacy of your own home. There's no bullet in the chamber. You have the laser bullet instead, and that just shows you where your shots are landing on your target. It's awesome. It's fun. It's really cool. Comes in all major calibers, including .223 and .556. So less driving to the range, less buying ammo. You're going to save a lot of money that way, and less government bureaucracy. Right now, get 10% off plus free shipping when you use the offer code PAT. We still need to fight for our rights, but iTarget Pro is available to you right now. Get it before they try to ban that too. Take your skill to the next level safely and effectively with iTarget Pro. It's the letter I, then targetpro.com, offer code PAT.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
It is. And welcome to it. 888-900-3393 and at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Is it amazing how radical Bernie Sanders is? Bernie Sanders is so extreme, and yet he's sitting right at the top of the Democrat Party.
There's your party, Dims.
Right at the tippy top.
I think it's a great question we had at the end of last hour from Chris Matthews. Wonder what Bernie Sanders thinks about Fidel Castro.
Yeah, he should be asked. He should be made to feel uncomfortable about his socialism. Instead, he's not. Everybody says, "Oh, well, he's just talking about Denmark." You ever lived in Denmark? Live there and see if it's the same quality of life that we have here. Go ahead. Live in Finland. Their Shangri-La of Finland. My son lived there for 2 years while he was on his mission.
Uh-huh.
I guarantee you it's not a higher standard of living than we have. It's nowhere near what we have.
No, when we lived in Charleston, South Carolina, our next door neighbors, he was from America and she was from Norway. And they had their first kid and they said, we're going to Norway. And they listed all this free stuff you get and we're going to go over there and live happily ever after. And they were good people. I mean, they were fine.
Oh, sure.
They're great people. They moved over there, and then they moved back about a year later and said, wow, that is horrible. I miss America.
Really?
This is the greatest country on earth by far, and that was so oversold to us. There you go.
That's what you're going to find. If you think that is, if that's the perfect society, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Seriously. And I'll tell you another thing. My son loved those people, but the one thing he came back with was how racist they are. Why? Because that's all they knew was each other.
Uh-huh.
It's a homogenized society. And now they've got this influx of people from Africa and Asia, and they don't like it. At all.
Do they not like the individuals that are moving from these other countries, or they don't like the fact that what they're bringing to their country?
I'm not sure, having not been there myself, but I'm guessing it's a combination of the two, but I think it's probably more the latter. They don't like what they're bringing to their country.
A lot of bad things happening to these Scandinavian countries now, these Nordic countries.
Right, and you know what they're doing is going to Finland and getting free stuff from them. They're set up with free college, place to live, a mincome, whatever else. It's, and they're tired of paying for that. I would be too. And that tends to piss you off.
Yeah. And see, they have all this extra money to spend on organizing their society the way they want to when their defense is provided for by us.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't have to spend money.
Exactly.
It's called NATO, right?
That's why we spend $700 billion a year on our military. Because we protect everyone on this planet. Everybody. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And that's one of those things that President Trump is like, all right.
He's tired of it.
You guys are going to pay for some of this stuff, all right? So thank you.
Yes. Not only are you going to up your contributions, we've upped our contributions. Now, up yours.
Like literally, I think that's what he said to them.
I think he did.
Up yours.
Not only monetarily, but militarily. Both. Because they haven't been pulling their weight. All right. Oscars, the ratings hit an all-time low. Just as we hoped yesterday.
Yes.
It did come to pass. I knew it would. By 3 million. It went down another 3 million in ratings.
What are they down to? Does it say?
I think 23.6 million.
That's still
now,
too high.
this is a broadcast that just 10, 15 years ago had 45 million people watching it. Now it's been cut in half. So, yeah, something's wrong. I wonder what. Could it be the loudmouth idiots that we have to, even though they took a few minutes to stop raping each other, as I said yesterday, nobody watched their self-congratulatory, self-aggrandizing, pseudo-intellectual snooze fest. We've just gotten immune to it. We're tired of it. No, thank you. I don't want to hear about your cow insemination and whatever else. Well, yes, I do.
No, what?
I do want to hear about your cow insemination because that's
We feel entitled
You're into that?
Joaquin Phoenix.
to artificially inseminate a cow.
Yeah.
And when
yeah.
she gives birth, we
Right.
steal her baby.
Oh, man.
Even though her cries of anguish are unmistakable.
Her cries of anguish.
And then we take her milk that's intended
Take
for
her
her
milk.
calf, and we
Right.
put it in our coffee and our
man.
cereal.
Oh, no.
And
No.
I think
Every morning, baby.
we fear
we
the
fear.
idea of personal change because we think that we have to sacrifice something to
Yeah.
give something up.
No.
But human beings
But-
at our best are so inventive and creative and ingenious.
Yeah.
And I think that when we use love and
Use
compassion as our guiding principles,
Use love.
we can create, develop, and implement
Sure.
systems of change that are beneficial to all sentient beings and to the environment.
Okay.
Wow, is that
Now,
beautiful?
I've been
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. You know what I feel coming on here?
What's that?
Is Sally Struthers for the cows.
Hi, I'm Sally Struthers. For just $233 a day, less than the cost of the 3 sides of beef and butter sauce I just ate, you can help fight artificial cow insemination. Cows are people too. Well, okay, actually they're not. But who says they're any less important than humans? Well, again, yeah, you're right, everyone says it. From God in the Bible to Darwin and in survival of the fittest theory of evolution. All tells us we are far superior to them. But still, please join me in this fight. Let's all work to stop separating cow families. Thank you.
Yeah. Wow.
It's important.
Just $233 a day?
I thought it was, just $233 a day. What does that amount to per year to stop cow insemination?
$84,812.
Okay, that's cheap at double the
person.
price. It's cheap at,
Yeah.
at double the price.
Well, the cows say, eat more chicken. And that's exactly
They
what
do.
they did at the Oscars. We had a listener find a menu for us from the Oscars.
Judas Delecto sent us this menu. Guest dine. Now, this was supposed to be a big vegan event, but apparently chicken is vegan now. I don't know. They dined on Caesar salad, Polo Lounge's classic fried chicken, steak frites.
I don't know.
Roasted cauliflower steak. Then they had ice cream sundaes, and a band played Beatles cover songs. Well, what a wonderful, wonderful
that's
evening
cool.
for them. I'm so glad.
Love me do.
I hope they had, I bet there was milk in the ice cream, but
Whoa!
yeah. Somebody get a hold of Joaquin, please.
Uh-huh.
Because,
wonder what he ate. Did he bring a baggie of his own food?
Pat Gray Unleashed on the Blaze Radio Network.
888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Great to have you with us. Thanks for being here. By the way, you can download this, and please tell everybody you know. Your spouse, significant other, family members, extended family members, neighbors, people in your cul-de-sac.
Just random people you pass
Anybody.
on the street.
Where they can get Pat Gray Unleashed. That includes Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Spotify. You can download on the Google's systems, their Chrome, Google Play, and Now available on YouTube. The entire show.
When you're standing in line at the post office later today, you should be like, hey. So,
yeah, you heard Pat Gray Unleashed?
It's a good podcast.
Yeah, she'd go to iTunes. You just pick one.
You know what? Just hand me your phone, sir.
And download that. Yeah, let me help you out with that.
Let me just see
here.
here.
You know what I can do is set up the alarm on YouTube at youtube.com/Pat Gray.
See this?
And then it'll alert you when they got new stuff there.
See this? We got a problem. You use SoundCloud? No. We got to change that
SoundCloud.
too. So while I've got you here, let me just go ahead and download Spotify.
They don't do any podcast now, right?
I don't.
Am I right in that?
I have no idea.
Or just ours?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I just know that ours.
I just know you shouldn't
up.
use it because we don't like them.
Jerks.
And they don't count. So, and that's it's your heart. It's like people going to your store, and there's a certain group of people who can just take stuff out of your store without paying.
Oh, is that Antifa?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's like that. All right. At Pat Unleashed, from truthful cat-faced laundry folder. Apparently, Pat never heard of the not practicing clause in the Catholic profession of faith. They're going to be shocked, though, when they find out Jesus never heard of it either. Look, flacked. That comes from Joe Biden saying, the flacked is.
The flack is.
Pat, we don't have to live there to know how great socialism is.
Oh,
we have the happiness studies to unequivocally prove their nations are superior.
So I'm talking about the socialism in those
in
Nordic,
Finland,
Nordic
Sweden.
countries. Yeah, we're always told how great it's usually Bernie Sanders.
Sure.
The quality of life in these countries.
These countries is so great. Yeah, go there then. Go live there.
Go run for president of Norway or
you
whatever
love
the
so
heck
much?
they got there.
Why don't you marry it?
Yeah, that's a good one. Write that
right?
down. Write it
Right?
down.
I'm
Write
gonna
it
write
down.
that.
You got to use that one tomorrow.
You
too.
love it so much, Bernie. Why don't you marry it?
Yeah, marry
I want to see
Finland.
somebody. I want to see somebody ask him that question today. Hey, Bernie, you love these Nordic stupid countries so much. Why don't you marry them?
Where's the laugh track, man? You got to give me the laugh track. Yeah. Why don't you marry it?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Bernie, you love Sweden so much?
Yeah.
Why don't you marry it?
You can marry it. That's like the last thing that's left to be able to marry, right? Is a country. We got people marrying trees and ghosts and themselves. What a
sheep.
Stupid planet.
Oh, man.
I hate this world. It's so dumb.
You know, the one thing they still can't give in on is the plural marriage thing. I don't know why. I think it's because of the religious connotations there. They refuse. Now, if I can't legislate love with who you love, why can I legislate how many you can love? It's bizarre. It's bizarre to me. I don't like polygamy. I don't want to be a polygamist, but it doesn't make any sense in light of everything else.
But now here's a question. Could you be married to one individual and a ghost at the same time?
I don't know.
See, now that needs to be put to the test.
Yeah.
As soon as
because we had that woman who married a ghost.
Yeah. But could she be married to a real human? Yeah, that was what was so sad.
When she
thought it was built to last.
She married the ghost in Australia and I think flew back to London. And they lived, I think, for only 3 or 4 months together, and it didn't work out
Something
for
happened.
him, so she divorced him.
He
divorced the ghost.
He flew through the wrong wall.
The ghost was not who he presented himself as in Australia.
Yeah.
She found out the real him, and it bothered her. She didn't like him. So, really sad.
That is, well, it's
really
tragic.
Quite sad.
Tragic story.
From Hangry Keith's heart attack in waiting.
Thank you.
So the Nordic countries are not punching above their weight? Not in quality of life, no.
No.
The Steve, 42. Wait, was Phoenix giving an Oscar speech, or was he continuing his role as Joker? It's pretty crazy. The guy's a nut. He's just a nutbag. From Scotty, every time I hear that Joaquin Phoenix clip, I get this strange craving for veal parmigiana, Pop's cereal, and a tall glass of milk. Oh, you're going to steal the milk that a cow feeds its babies? Okay. Whatever.
What does a you can hear the cries of the mama cow.
Yeah. You know what it sounds like?
What does that sound like exactly? I was hoping we were on the same wavelength there.
Yeah.
So
and
that's
every
a
once in a
sound.
while, you get this echo sound. Sounds a little like that.
So that's a mama cow in distress as she watches her little babies taken away.
Yeah, I love the fact that he said, you can clearly, was it clearly or plainly hear it? Well, let's listen to it. Let's see what it was.
We feel entitled
to cow's
artificially
milk.
inseminate a cow.
Gosh, that's
And
terrible.
when she gives birth, we steal her baby.
Right.
Even though her cries of anguish are unmistakable.
They're unmistakable.
Yeah, they are.
The cries of anguish
I got to be honest with
are
you.
unmistakable.
I did mistake it for a petrified mummy
From 3,000 years ago?
from 3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's my bad.
To me, I thought its cry sounded a little like it always does. I mean, every sound the cow makes sounds about like that.
Yeah, I was actually. It's very ironic that we mentioned this because it was about a month or so ago, and I put this video on Twitter. I could hear these cows like wandering around near my house at night, and it was just weird. And neighbor of mine told me that they actually, wow.
Were their babies being stolen?
Yes, they were they were
Really?
trying to wean the babies.
Yeah.
And so, oh my gosh.
They separated the cattle families?
Yeah, and so the mom's looking for the, Joaquin, you're right. Oh my gosh, I have proof in my own backyard. Wait, what? And now we've got
that's Mike
Bloomberg eating
Bloomberg.
big gay ice cream. It just comes full circle because what is ice cream made with?
Milk.
Milk! So yes, I have heard the cries of moms separated from their babies.
They're unmistakable. They're unmistakable. Help me! My baby's been stolen.
In Hollywood, they clap to that speech. I think you made this point yesterday. They're like, yes!
Yeah.
No more separating mama cows from babies.
No more insemination of cows.
And if Joaquin Phoenix finishes that speech with, now let's all write a check for Planned Parenthood and murder human babies, they would have applauded even louder. What a world.
I got to read this since we're on this topic.
Terrible world.
Saw this great Oscars article yesterday by Freddie Gray, who I think is a movie reviewer and reviews all things Hollywood. He writes, come friendly bombs and fall on Hollywood. It isn't fit for doing good. Another year, another dreadful Oscars. Another round of moral lectures from the beautiful people. It's all so tiresome. The only reason most people pay attention to these irritating award ceremonies is precisely so that they can be irritated. So there was a vegan theme, I thought so, at this year's Academy Awards. So the show had no host. So Brad Pitt is angry about impeachment. So someone said workers of the world unite. So Joaquin Phoenix is mad, in all senses of the word, about what mankind is doing to the animal kingdom. So Natalie Portman, in what she called My Subtle Way, had the names of the women directors who weren't nominated for awards sewn into her dress. So what? All these people are ridiculous.
Thank you.
Nothing they say makes any difference to anyone. Actors are increasingly aware, thanks in part to Ricky Gervais's wonderful ribbing of them at the Golden Globes, that nobody cares what they think. At some unconscious level, these actors must know that they don't really know anything about politics or the real world. They can't admit this to themselves, of course, human nature being what it is, so they double down. They convince themselves that any angry reaction to their moralizing is an indication that they have dared to speak truth. How brave they are. And so the infuriating cycle continues. Actors end up almost trolling the public, and the public trolls them back on social media. That's great. The Oscars have always been fundamentally silly, but 10 years ago, they were still a major event. Celebrities still lectured people in their annoying, self-congratulatory sort of way. But they had more cultural capital then. People listened when they spoke, and that slightly restrained their sanctimoniousness. Now they're just howling into cyberspace, ever more desperate to be heard. I love this article. The internet has killed the Hollywood star. Fame has been disrupted. Andy Warhol got it slightly wrong when he said that in the future, everybody will be famous for 15 minutes. In fact, thanks to social media, everybody is famous to at least 15 people. Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I mean, we don't have to ogle stars anymore. We're too busy ogling ourselves. Yes, different types of celebrities have grown online. The influencers, the YouTubers, the streamers. And they, too, will try to use their position to grandstand. But the age of celebrity, of mass entertainers mattering as anything other than entertainment, is dying. It won't be missed. It's so true.
That's awesome.
So great.
I mean, if we were, in general, a sane society, these Hollywood liberals like Joaquin Phoenix would probably be in a mental institution, unable to get free.
Yeah.
Instead, we give them a platform, a microphone, an award, say...
And millions of dollars.
Tell us how to live. Yeah, millions of dollars.
Yeah.
It's just...
Amazing.
This has been a depressing day for me.
Aren't they all, though? Aren't they all?
Yeah, today in particular,
it's
though.
a cavalcade. It's an avalanche of garbage every day.
Today is early drinking day.
More than ever. All right. 888-900-3393. By the way, speaking of the avalanche, the global death toll has now passed 1,000 on the coronavirus. But, still, it's interesting because you know what the death toll is for the flu? 12,000. So...
Wow. So this flu season...
I mean, just in America, it's 12,000.
12,000 people have died of the flu in America this flu season.
Yeah.
And 1,000 have died of the
worldwide
coronavirus.
In the coronavirus. That's, and yet...
And all but 2.
All the panic is with the coronavirus.
They're all those deaths are in China, and there's just 2 outside. Hong Kong and Philippines, right? Is that right?
And one American died, but they died in China.
So, is it because it's just great unknown? Like, where did it come
I guess
from?
so. Yeah,
I guess. We just don't know it.
Well, and the reaction of the Chinese has been so weird. I mean, they are. Do we have the videos?
Oh my gosh! Okay, if you're eating breakfast, swallow your bite there. Put your spoon down in the bowl. Are you ready?
Got this guy in an elevator.
So we presume this guy is infected with the coronavirus. Because he's entering an elevator here. It's kind of an odd angle here. You'll look to the left here of the shot. The elevator doors will open, and you'll notice his crazy baldness, more crazy than mine.
Yeah. Okay.
And then watch what he does with his hand. He licks his hand and wipes it.
And then wipes it all over the buttons.
Oh, look at that!
That is crazy.
If I've got it, you've got it. Later.
Why would you do that? That's
you're a sick
psychotic.
human being.
So. Let's say somebody is infected with the virus from what he just did and dies. Is he charged with murder then?
Oh,
did you just kill somebody?
That's a good
I think
question.
you did. I mean,
yeah, that's like
you could make a case.
Could you make the case in court? Like that's like putting a bomb on the elevator and
it is.
Let's see what happens.
Unbelievable. Ooh. Wow, that's really unbelievable.
So that's gross.
So they are dragging people out of their homes now. People in, hazmat suits are coming and dragging people out of their homes, out of their cars. A woman the other day got dragged out of a car and they injected her with something and she immediately went limp. I don't know what that was, but it's very sci-fi movie-esque.
Wow.
They pulled her out of the car. She was fighting them like crazy. Then all of a sudden she goes completely limp and I think was completely passed out.
Oh, I didn't see that.
After they injected her. It is now illegal not to wear a mask, so you'll be arrested for that. Compliance is not it's not voluntary, that's for sure, in a totalitarian regime like China has. Ooh. So the total number of deaths in mainland China is at least 1,011 now. Globally, 1,013 people have died. Like you said, just 2. Hong Kong and Philippines are the other 2.
And I saw a note that the good news is that a lot of these cases have spread beyond China because of those cruise ships. Mm-hmm. But at least those are quarantined as well.
Yeah, and they just took another, 65 people off the ship into quarantine because they were sick. So every time they take somebody off the ship, that resets the quarantine days. It goes back to 14 days.
What?
Yeah. They're going to be there a long time.
And they're going to be in Texas and Nebraska.
That's
if you're keeping score at home.
Going to be miserable. So worldwide now, the number is 42,500 infected. Just keeps going up. Yeah, I'd say it's a concern. And I don't know who to believe. I don't know if that's a real number or if the number is exponentially higher than that, like we saw with that website mistake once. Tencent, the Chinese website Tencent, posted a number last week. This was early last week of 156,000 infected and 25,000 some dead. And then that quickly got pulled down. And then they put back up the other numbers that we always see now. So I don't know if that was a momentary mistake of telling the truth or if somebody screwed up.
It could have been someone operating with Keith math. That sounds like something I would do. And then I would pull it down and go, oh, sorry, guys, I had that wrong.
So we can hope that's what it is. Yeah. But we just don't know. We just don't know right now. 888-900-3393. Simply Safe Home Security. It's like getting commercial grade enterprise level security, but for your own home. Think about the security Fortune 500 companies use. They need to know police are going to be on the scene immediately. And that's exactly the kind of security you get with Simply Safe. If there's a break-in, Simply Safe uses real video evidence to give police an eyewitness account of the crime. So that means police dispatch up to 350% faster than normal for a burglar alarm. Why? Because most of the time when the burglar alarm goes off, it's a false alarm. You know, you set your alarm and then somebody opens the door because they forgot or they didn't know, and the alarm goes off, and then the company calls and says, okay, is everything okay? You give them your password, you hang up, and you do it over again the next day or the next week. Well, Simply Safe has this video evidence that they can scan and see what's going on in your home and dispatch police much quicker. Go to simplysafe.com right now. simplysafe.com/unleashed and get free shipping on your order, plus a 60-day money-back guarantee. Try it for 60 days. And if you're not satisfied, you send it back. simplysafe.com/unleashed to save on home security today. simplysafe.com/unleashed. Yeah. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter, where Ashley Ogburn tweets, I can't believe Phoenix assumed the cow's gender. Why can't he admit that trans bulls give birth too?
Thank you.
We're there. I mean, that's no joke. As Joe Biden would say, that's no joke. I'm not joking. Justin says the mama cow in distress noise is the best thing on radio today. It's actually, a 3,000-year-old priest who was mummified. We put together how he sounds.
Yeah,
recreated his vocal cords. That's the best he could do.
That's a universal noise. Just applies to so much.
Let's see. Got this from Just Too Mucketfuch. That lady's marriage to the ghost didn't last when he realized the vows were till death do us part.
See, he was already.
Yeah, because he was already dead.
He's already dead.
So yeah.
So it's like it's like if it was annulled before it even started.
You should have thought of that before.
What do you give a ghost as a wedding gift?
It's a good question. A toaster, like you give everybody else. You give them a toaster. Tricia Sanders tweets, so I guess we can say that the woman in Australia got ghosted?
Hey-oh! Yes, sir.
And finally from Celery Stalker, the idiocy at the Oscars was unmistakable.
Wait,
unmistakable? Unmistakable. Yeah. That's good. On the next episode, little cousin Bobby from down the street joins our crew. They always had to, once the sitcom got old, a little bit long in the tooth.
We need a young kid.
A young kid.
A little kid on
a little
here.
Obnoxious neighbor kid is always busting in without knocking, that kind of thing.
You're right. The Brady
and
Bunch.
Then it'll be funny.
Yeah, Oliver on the Brady Bunch, that kind of crap.
Oliver, you didn't.
Oh, no, you didn't. And then what? What did they do when the twins grew up on Full House? Did they interject after the twins? Did they
Probably.
put some little baby in there?
I suspect.
I don't know.
Yes.
But you're right.
They always have to, right? 888-900-3393. Just to follow up a little bit on the why trans bulls, why they didn't recognize the fact that trans bulls can give birth too. A mother of two from the United Kingdom who was arrested in 2018 for referring to a transgender woman as a man in social media is now on trial for it. Specifically for, quote, using a public communications network to cause annoyance, inconvenience, and anxiety. Wow, if that's a crime in the UK, they're pretty well done, right? With free speech, you are done.
Like one of the charges was it caused anxiety?
Yeah. Annoyance, inconvenience, and anxiety. Anxiety is probably the most legitimate of those three.
This is the same society that dealt with the bombs that the Nazis were dropping day and night?
Yes. That also sprang Edward Burke. I mean, really? What? Really?
But now I'm annoyed and I have anxiety, so let's arrest them.
3 officers detained. Kate Scottow of Hitchin, Hertfordshire.
Yeah, they've got some dumb town names over there.
They really do.
I mean, just too many syllables.
Arrested her at her home and questioned her at the police station December 1st of 2018 over an exchange with transgender activist Stephanie Hayden. I was arrested in my home by 3 officers with my autistic 10-year-old daughter and breastfed 20-month-old son present. Yeah, I remember this story at the time. Mm-hmm. I was then detained for 7 hours in a cell with no sanitary products, which I told him I needed, before being interviewed, then later released under investigation. I was arrested for harassment and malicious communications because I called someone out and misgendered them on Twitter. At the time, she had her photograph, DNA, and fingerprints taken, and authorities also took her cell phone and laptop into custody. Wow. Police commissioner said, yeah, we take all reports of malicious communication seriously. So now she's on trial for it.
I can't. What a depressing day.
Wow. Hayden said the defendant referred to her as he or him.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, but it also happened during a period of significant online abuse. So.
Did it?
Uh-huh.
Do we have some evidence for the court?
Wow.
Significant online abuse. That they're referencing, it makes it sound like they're talking about other people. Other people were abusing this trans person.
Mm-hmm.
And then she, however, committed the ultimate sin.
Improper pronoun.
As a man.
You can't use... Do you think you could just go ahead and throw out improper pronouns on the internet? No, my friend, you cannot. Okay?
And see, that's the crime. There's probably death threats or something like that, and the police were just like, nah.
The pronoun. Yeah, they called her him. So, arrest her.
Pat Gray. Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Where we give you traffic and weather together every 7 minutes on the threes all day long. That's how much we care. Every 7 minutes on the threes, you can count on it. Doesn't matter what we're doing at the time. Bang! Right into traffic and weather together.
Fuzzy math. Fuzzy math.
On all the threes every 7 minutes. So, Hey, we're joined by Stu Burguiere of Stu Does America fame.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you know, Super Bowl trip every year fame.
Yes, that's right.
And so we haven't really talked on the air, at least, about how that went. How you got tickets, I assume.
Yeah, we did go.
When did you finally get the tickets? Because right before you left, you still hadn't had them, and that was on Thursday.
Sprint to the gate
before the Super Bowl.
There was not a sprint to the gate this year, which was nice.
Oh.
I think buying them on Wednesday or Thursday. You know, we got really good seats, but like
you did,
we did get good seats. It's a weird thing that happens now, and I think the Chiefs were a big part of this. And that they've been to the Super Bowl in 50 years, so all of their fans want to go, assuming like I did when the Eagles were in.
Seemed like a big time Chiefs crowd.
Right, you're never going to see it again. Yeah, it was probably 60-40, yeah, something like that. It was definitely a Chiefs crowd.
Yeah,
and it was a great game. But like when you have a city like that hasn't been in the game in a while, what you get is the get-in price goes way up. So, like, to get in the door, to be in, like, the 400 section in the back is way higher than it should be. But it doesn't inch up much past that for really good seats. So you're like, well, I can either... I mean, look, I'm already spending a ridiculous amount of money on these tickets.
Might as well spend a little more and get nice ones.
Yeah, so we want to get a little bit more. You get we were in like a club seat situation. It was nice. Yeah. It was very nice.
It's like getting airfare the day you're going to travel. It's, you might as well just spend $50 or $75 or $100 more and get first class.
You might as well. Yeah, like you just suck it up and go for it.
Yeah.
You realize that you're in for this anyway. You're already there. You're not going to go to the game.
Your accommodations were also a little iffy, you said, before you left.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
How'd the B&B, Airbnb, is that what you went?
Oh my gosh, it was so shady.
Was it?
Oh my God.
It was
so
shady.
First of all, blatantly illegal Airbnb. Blatantly illegal.
Really?
Yes, this is a hilarious thing. So, because I'm looking at this, and it's like this really nice place, and it was about the price of like what a Comfort Inn would be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, what's going on? But it's Miami. They built all these giant towers into the sky in 2008. Everyone bought them on investments, and now they're all like empty because they bought these things and they can't sell them anywhere close to what they paid for them. So that's what I kind of assumed it was, and it was true. However, it was a building that blatantly banned people from renting it on Airbnb.
Okay.
So like we had to like every time we entered the building say like, oh, we're here with Andre. It was so shady. Like every time we came back, we weren't sure if we were getting into the actual apartment.
Oh wow!
And every time we left,
funny.
And so they obviously this has been obviously a big deal at this apartment. So the first time we get there and we have these little key fobs so we can come in. You're getting back late. Like you have to use a key fob to get up in the elevator. This is not what I intended on talking about.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So after day one, we see this sign and it just says they're installing biometrics into the elevators. So now you need fingerprints to get up because they know.
Wow.
So now we have to go in there and put ourselves on this guest list and talk our way into the place we rented every day.
Andre's thumb or something.
And did you have to do it every time?
Every time we had to talk our way in.
That sucks.
I mean, it does. But I will
a nice
say,
place?
It was a spectacular view.
Oh, nice.
And it's funny, like the only problem with it was, you get back late at night at these are weekends that I could pull off when I was 25. Like I am way too old to be doing these things. And so we get it back very late. And then right around 8 o'clock in the morning, this blaring music starts. Blaring music, like can't sleep. What is going on? I look out there, and they're doing like a sound test at this little, because we were above this little, I don't know, stadium or not like a little music venue with maybe 2,000 people, outdoor music venue.
Is it tied to the Super Bowl?
It was tied to the Super Bowl. It was the Kanye Sunday service. So like this whole thing he's been doing. So
wow.
It was actually really interesting to watch. They went for like 3 hours of gospel music and Kanye doing his thing, and like these events are crazy. And there was people everywhere, and it sounded fantastic. I really wanted to sleep through it, but that was not possible. Yeah. Not possible.
Wow.
Can I bring up a point here? I'm a little upset about.
Sure.
And I don't, look, Pat, we've been working together for a long time. I feel like I at least thought we had a good relationship.
What's going on?
I start Stu Does America this week.
Yeah.
And we're trying to like drum up attention for it, get people excited about it. And then I hear that you're totally overshadowing it with leakages. What the hell? You pick the week.
That's
this is unbelievable.
It was 7 years in the making.
Yeah, you couldn't have waited another week so I could have a week of Stu Does America on its own for promotion.
No, because this is so time sensitive. It is a time sensitive broadcast. It had to go this week.
Yeah, we don't schedule Valentine's Day. No. This is what's so funny. I'm actually going to say this. This is when the first leakages happened. I wrote the script for Valentine's Day of 2013, and we're sitting around here talking about, man, a lot of people are asking for leakages again. I'm like, oh, and I checked my email, and sure enough, there was this script from 7 years ago. Wow, it's perfect timing.
Let's do it.
Our apologies for.
It's time sensitive.
Okay, all right.
That's what it was.
But like time sensitive, like I just don't understand. You've had 7 years. You could have picked any other time.
Well, no. 7 years ago, we planned for Valentine's Day 2020. You, sir, are the one that infringed on our
well,
week.
then I apologize. I should be clear here. I'm very excited about this, though.
Speaking of the show, though.
Yeah.
It started on the Blaze last night.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Please go subscribe if you're listening to this on podcast. Click over to your podcast app and subscribe. Every episode free. YouTube
America
as well. We're we're up to number, I think 50. We're right behind Morning Joe now on the podcast list.
Nice.
Which I really want to pass Morning Joe.
Oh, you will. You will. With or without that extra hour.
Yeah. But yeah, the first show, I mean, we've had a lot of production issues, almost leakages level production issues that have happened.
I know how that goes.
Oh gosh, it does. We were somehow able to pull it off in a few weeks rather than the 7 years. It was tough. That it went up a little bit late last night, so I apologize if you're waiting for that time. We're still ironing out some kinks.
Yeah.
But showing off, we did a good Stu does Bernie Sanders the first monologue. One of the things I thought you'd like, because we did this thing on Hot Girls for Bernie, and it's this group of like supposed hot girls, and you know how hot the girls are that call themselves hot girls. Mm-hmm. Like real hot girls don't call themselves hot girls, right? They know they're hot. Right. They don't need to tell you, right? Hot girls for Bernie, generally speaking, not so hot. But we thought it would be funny too to be doing another group, and I think maybe we can make this thing trend today of hot dudes for Mike Lee, because I think. First of all,
I like that.
First of all, any dude who's calling himself a hot dude should not be doing that. And secondly, think of how uncomfortable Mike Lee will be if he sees trending hot dudes for Mike Lee.
That's awesome.
It will make him so uncomfortable that I just want it to happen really badly. So please tweet today with the hashtag hot dudes for Mike Lee.
I like that. All right. Speaking of Bernie, is that your prediction for New Hampshire?
I'm big on Bernie tonight. I think he's going to. I'm very bullish on Bernie in New Hampshire. Remember,
Buttigieg number 2?
I think probably Buttigieg number 2. I mean, I wouldn't be stunned to see Warren number 2.
Really?
Yeah, just because remember she is still the polls have shown her and Buttigieg relatively close.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be stunned. It would be a very good result for her. And it would be a good result if you believe in this moderate lane, which of course is a myth. There isn't a moderate lane in the Democratic Party.
Not among
right now.
these guys.
Not among these guys at all. But, I think Sanders will probably win. I think my belief is he's going to win by a relatively decent margin. Remember, he absolutely blew out Clinton in 2016 by over 20 points.
Yeah, I was going to say 25, 30.
Yeah, I said it was 22, maybe. But it was over 20, which is, that was destruction at the time.
I mean, it's his next door neighbor, so he should win this.
Yeah. So it will be interesting to see. I see on the back of Keith's monitor over here, Klobuchar in third. Is that a Keith prediction?
That's Keith prediction.
I mean, it's an interesting one. She had a good debate. That debate was very bad for Biden and very good for Sanders and very good for Bloomberg, right? I mean, I think like what is shaping up right now to me is Sanders winning tonight by a decent margin. He was already probably the favorite in Nevada anyway. It's a caucus state. It's a union state.
We just looked that up this morning. And was it Biden was in the lead?
But
right?
There just hasn't been enough polling there, I don't think, to tell.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
There's been no polling since Iowa.
I mean, that could help him a lot if he wins in Nevada.
So let's say he wins these first 3.
Because
I think
that's
you can make
an old poll too.
Yeah, it's very old.
Right.
There's nothing fresh in Nevada.
A few weeks.
Okay.
So you go, and I think I think Sanders was actually the winner in Iowa. Buttigieg got a great bump out of it, and he actually looks like he may technically win one measure of the 3 measures they released, but Bernie blew him out in the other 2 measures when it comes to the actual number of voters.
And they're both claiming victory.
So we'll call that one a tie. He's going to win New Hampshire, I think. If he wins Nevada as well, I think there's a new Quinnipiac poll out today that showed all the firewall of Joe Biden among black voters has completely disintegrated. He's down 20 points among black voters already. So I don't think South Carolina is a legitimate firewall.
Has he lost the lead in South Carolina?
It was a national poll, but it was among black voters he was down, and Sanders is now in first place nationally. If he's winning nationally, he wins these first 3 states. I think there's a great chance he wins South Carolina too. It's possible. If no one can stop him there, it's just a firewall of Bloomberg. And here's a guy who's rising in the polls. He's way up. I don't remember what he had in that Quinnipiac poll, but he's up there and he's up in third place now. He's running unopposed in all these states for Super Tuesday, which is a huge advantage for him. And he's dumping money. He's spent about $300 million.
Giuliani tried the same thing in Florida years ago.
Not with $300 million.
But he didn't have the money.
Yeah. And he's legitimately able to put this together. He's getting all the best consultants. It looks like he won the stupid Dixville Notch thing that they do on the overnight, because he's actually technically winning both.
I thought Klobuchar won that.
I think she won the entire state because there's 3 towns that do it.
Okay.
That do the midnight voting thing. Yeah. But the Dixville Notch thing, Bloomberg was leading both the Republican and Democratic
he's not even
primary.
on the ballot.
Yeah, he's not even on the ballot. Both people wrote him in on both sides, so he's actually winning both primaries for a moment, which is kind of funny. But great. I mean, look, he's going to try this, and I think, there's already leaked video coming out. Bloomberg is a disastrous candidate, too. He's just, he looks good because no one's been picking him apart.
Right.
But he may be the Democrats' only firewall against Bernie Sanders. And there are a lot of Democrats. And black voters liked Bloomberg in New York. He still has a good approval rating despite stop and frisk and all those things that they try to make him out to be, anti-black. He had a good approval rating among black voters. So he may be the one guy that can stop Sanders' run to the nomination. But missing those first 4 states is going to be very difficult to get to a majority. And that's why it looks more and more like a brokered convention situation is possible.
Wow. That would be really something. We haven't had a brokered convention since, I don't know when.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go back. You're back decades on that one.
Yeah, 60s, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe not even then. But
I have to go back and look up the history on it because I think this is going to be one of these things we're going to need to be experts on it.
Yeah.
It's more likely here than it was with Trump and Cruz and all that going on. This is a situation where, for all the stuff of people saying Trump was going to falter, Trump led the polls pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
The polls were right on Trump throughout the primary, and everyone was saying they were wrong.
Yes.
Here,
we thought they were wrong.
Yeah. I mean, here, the Biden polls did not hold up. They're already gone, and I think there's a good chance. Here's if you want, you got a Klobuchar as kind of your reach prediction here. You want a hot take prediction for me is Biden drops out after New Hampshire.
Wow.
After New Hampshire, you think?
I wouldn't say it's above 50%, but it's not 10. I think he finishes in 5th.
Yeah.
If what Keith is doing here is right, which is Sanders, Buttigieg, Klobuchar, Warren's clearly 4th there. If he finishes 5th in New Hampshire, I think he's done.
That's 4th and 5th.
I think he's done.
Wow.
You finish 5th in New Hampshire, there's no way he's going to win South Carolina. I mean, it's over.
Can you imagine how baffled he is? He's baffled about everything.
Everything.
He's got to be really confused about this because he really thought he was the guy.
He really did.
He really firmly, he's got an ego and he thinks, yeah, I got this thing.
It's amazing. And you know what? It was his to lose, and that's what he does best.
And he loses. Yes.
He loses. It's the best thing he does.
He has lost his cool completely. Yep. You can't challenge him on anything without him going nuts.
Yeah.
I think he lost this at the first debate. Remember how horrible he was?
Yeah.
Stumbling all over the place, screwing things up.
I think he could have had one bad debate. The problem is he never bounced back. He never had the good ones.
Yeah.
And
he doesn't have a good moment anymore on the campaign trail because he's stumbling around and staggering, doesn't know where he is half the time. It's bad. It's bad for him. All right, so episode number 2 of Stu Does America tonight.
Yeah, we've got a lot of election stuff we're doing tonight. We're going to do some stuff on Greta Thunberg, which is always fun.
I love her. I love Greta. She's got a new show coming up. You know that? Is that what you're talking about?
I do. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So watch it tonight and subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on podcast, Blaze TV, all that stuff. Watch it.
And we'll listen for you on some other program that's coming up.
Yeah, what else
shortly.
do you do here?
There's something else.
Is there anything else?
Well, I'm janitor.
Okay.
But is there a preview copy of leakages that I can check out? How do I get a hold of this?
No, it's being kept under wraps.
Okay.
It's a closely guarded secret.
Is there a chance it turns the election? Should I know something?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Oh, I think it will turn the election.
Of course it will.
Yeah.
By the way, the most recent brokered conventions in history both happened in 1952 on the Republican and Democratic side.
Wow, both.
Both
Can
of
you
them?
imagine that? Imagine that news cycle. 2 brokered conventions at the same time.
Stevenson for the Democrats, Eisenhower for the Republicans.
Wow.
All right.
Thanks, Stu. All right, 888-900-3393. Let's see. We've got, I was going to tell you about this Greta Thunberg TV show on the BBC. They're making, the project was just announced yesterday. There's no network yet, release date, or number of episodes have been set, but they have decided They're going to follow Greta around on her international crusade and watch her do this climate change stuff.
What's the carbon footprint of this show that follows her around?
A good question, and I'd love to know the answer to it. As she travels, Greta will meet not only leading scientists, but political leaders and business heavyweights, exploring the scientific evidence with them and challenging them to change. How would you like to have a camera in your face while this 17-year-old know-nothing girl is babbling to you about climate change? Oh,
please go away.
Drive me out of my mind.
I thought we only had to worry about her when we had big UN gatherings or climate gatherings.
Not anymore. Thunberg appeared in a video presentation the Oscars the other night, speaking on the power of documentaries. In the clip, she had a conversation with David Attenborough, who's this big climate change guy. He does all those documentaries on Netflix where he narrates the animal stuff. If it was just showing the animal kingdom and all of that, it'd be a great series. But every time they got to get into climate change. But she says David Attenborough inspired her to participate in all the climate change advocacy. Isn't that wonderful? Climate change is probably the most important issue of our lives.
Probably.
So it feels timely to make an authoritative series that explores the facts and science behind this complex issue. The producer of the series said, to be able to do this with Greta is an extraordinary privilege. Getting an inside view on what it's like to be a global icon and one of the most famous faces on the planet. Isn't that wonderful? That is just wonderful.
I'm not doing well today with all the news you're laying down.
I know.
I'm going to tell you. This has been
crazy.
This has been a rough couple hours for yours truly.
Would you rather have her lecture us or O.J. Simpson? Who would you rather? I think O.J. Simpson. I'd rather have O.J. Simpson lecture me than Greta Van Thunberg.
There you go again.
He apparently has taken issue with Gayle King. Gayle did an interview with, somebody on Kobe Bryant. It was a former WNBA basketball player, I think.
Okay.
It was Lisa Leslie. So she's talking to Lisa Leslie about Kobe, asked about the sexual assault. So she's been hammered for even bringing it up. And O.J. Simpson had to sound off on it, too.
The other thing is this Kobe Bryant, Gayle King thing. I'm not the most objective guy when it comes to Gayle King. A few years back on national TV, she made a comment that it was inappropriate for me to be visiting my ex-wife's grave, something that me, my family, and friends on special occasions and birthdays and Christmas and stuff had done for years, and I couldn't understand why it was any of her business and why she would say that on national TV.
Maybe because you're
I know this thing about Kobe. She's going to claim journalistic integrity. A whole lot of people got journalistic integrity, didn't feel that this was the right time to do that. There'll be plenty of time in the future to bring up all aspects of Kobe's life. Right now, we should be celebrating the greatness of Kobe Bryant. God bless Kobe and his family.
Thank you.
I'm just saying.
He's just saying.
Take care.
He's just saying.
Okay. I mean, this guy's unbelievable. Can you imagine the giblets of a guy who murdered his ex-wife and her friend, almost decapitated them? Then you show up at her gravesite as a mourner. I mean, if he did it, and everybody thinks he did, 80% of America thinks he did, then that is unbelievable that you would try to pull that. And further, then he has the giblets to jump into a discussion about Kobe Bryant. I would think he would be more
OJ, lay low, man. Be
low
cool.
key.
You might want to just.
You know what? I'm going to stay out of this.
You don't have to comment on everything, OJ.
He thinks he does. That is incredible. I think what I pulled out of this, other than the Kobe Bryant thing, I think that's amazing. Gayle King bringing up that he shows up at her gravesite. That is, for most of us who believe he did it, that's incomprehensible. How do you do that? Knowing, if he did, that he's the one who killed her. Wow. How do How do you live with yourself? Amazing.
Okay, I'm glad he found time away from the golf course.
I am too, because he's been looking for the killer
the
so intensely on golf courses all over the world. Speaking of giblets, we got Antifa videos in Portland, and the way they conduct themselves. And then they try to claim that they're the good guys. They're the anti-fascists.
Yeah.
Really? All right, let's check this out.
Mm-hmm. Look at this. They're going to shove this woman out into the street in front of a car. Look at
what
that. What the? Yep. There you go. And apparently they suspect her. She's a liberal that they threw out into the street. They suspected her of having called the police. And so that'll earn you from Antifa being shoved into traffic. Wow. But they're peaceful, man. This is peaceful.
That's a great group.
It's the peaceful group of protesters just expressing their First Amendment rights. What's your problem with that?
They don't like Nazis, Keith. That's who these people
what I
are.
hear.
Why would you hate them? Then there are some Antifa people chasing this person.
So this crowd, Andy, he's always out there, and here's what you got. Now the police are showing up.
We're not going to come out and save you. Oh, so they're telling him.
Yeah. Hey, man, we're not going
to save you from Antifa.
You need to go somewhere else, dude.
No, I wasn't, but I came to you guys. I didn't even know they were out here. But I just stood there. They come out with the pepper spray.
I'm just telling you that ain't gonna happen again. So you gotta go probably find something else, okay?
Okay.
We're not gonna be homies for you.
I'm gonna leave.
We're not going to be helpers for you.
We don't care that you're on public property.
Wait, I'm confused by the serve and protect thing on the side of your vehicle.
That's the state of the Portland police force right there. They're not interested. No thanks.
Wow. Oh, man. That's just craziness.
I mean, from my perspective, obviously I'm not in Portland, but just all the videos and all the information that you're getting out of there, it just...
From my perspective, Portland's not even part of the U.S. anymore.
It feels like Antifa, whenever they have an event, they just control the city. That's their town. They'll tell you when you can drive your car through an intersection.
Yes.
They'll tell you what side of the street you can stand on.
Yeah.
They will forcibly push you into traffic, and the cops won't do anything.
But again, all that's anti-fascism.
Well, at least they're peaceful.
They're peaceful. They're wonderful. I mean, they're fighting for...
For? I will wait. Well, we got some
they're
time
fighting
here.
against fascism.
Fascism. That's
they don't like it. They don't like it.
So that's what we got?
They don't like Nazis.
They don't like... Well... Okay, well then there you go.
As they are Nazis themselves. It's crazy.
So
wow.
This has been an uplifting day.
Hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like so many of the days. It is uplifting.
All right. I think we're good now. We're going to get this going here. And
breaking out the booze.
Yeah, it's an early start.
8 o'clock Central. Nice.
Not my record.
That might be a record. It's not your record? Oh, okay.
Not my record.
All right, well, never mind then.
Early tea time once.
Never mind. All right, we will be back tomorrow, and Jeffy will be here to chew the fat with us. See you then.
Pat Gray